what is our topmost duty. Srila Prabhupada speaks about. We have many duties. Which is most important among them? Lord Shiva states, among the various duties of the living entities, worship of Vishnu is the most essential. Still more essential is the worship of the spiritual master and the Vaishnavas. Lord Hari is the supreme absolute truth. He is the transcendental personality of Godhead. We are also eternally individual persons. Therefore we need to worship the eternal transcendental personality of Godhead. A relationship between persons is natural and opens the scope for service. If we need to re-establish our relationship with the Absolute Truth, then it is reasonable that all our activities be performed for the sake of that Absolute Truth. So what does it mean to limit the Supreme Lord? Measuring things means to enjoy them. In order to attain real liberation, we must give up the tendency to measure things with our senses. Who is a Tridandi sannyasi? The topmost desire in human life is to become a Tridandi. The word Tridandi refers to a devotee who chants Hari's holy name while offering respect to others and without expecting respect for himself. Such a devotee is also tolerant. Vaishnavas are godly, but they never proudly consider themselves godly. Rather, they remain humbler than a blade of grass. It is the duty of those who possess brahminical qualification to accept Tridandi sannyas. Such acceptance means to engage the body, mind and speech in the Lord's service. Lord, and do not use them in any other activity. Tridandi. Dandi means stick. Tri means 3 sticks. And these 3 sticks means body, mind and speech. They use all these 3 in the Lord's service. Not use them in any other activity. So what is Gyan and what is Vigyan? Gyan refers to information about the Supreme Lord. And Vigyan refers to knowledge about the Supreme Lord along with his associates and characteristics. So Gyan, when we study the Vedas, for example, we get information about the Supreme Lord and about his activities, about his position. But Vigyan refers to knowledge about the Supreme Lord. Means Vigyan is realized knowledge. We got knowledge about the Supreme Lord with his associates and characteristics. It is not anymore just information, or we can repeat, but we have not realized it. Like when we speak, the Lord is present everywhere. He is present in every person, in the heart. He is present in all living beings. He is present. Whatever we can see is His presence. Whatever we can touch, smell, taste, everything is Him, coming from Him. So when we are conscious, become conscious like this, then we can experience the reality. And in a proper attitude, we have to respect everything, because everything is Him. He is in all living beings in the heart. So we respect all. In case I find fault in others, then what is the attitude of a real devotee? What is he should think? What is what I am seeing, this fault, actually, I have to find in me. I seeing the fault. And I project it on others. So this is, would we all become like this conscious? There would never be any fight or any misunderstanding. Everything would be very clear. But this is not the world where we are now. Now we find everyone else is our enemy, except I am the right one. I know the real thing. The next is it, Srila Prabhupada, the question is asked, is it prohibited to look at women? Looking at women is prohibited for sannyasis and brahmacharis. But it does not mean that we should consider women bad. That would not be intelligent. Looking at a woman with the spirit of enjoyment is prohibited and condemnable. In this case, there is no fault in the object, only in how we are approaching it. As you heard just before, when we see everything as a part of the Lord, that everything spiritual parts of Him, with a non-enjoying attitude, then we are not getting agitated, or we are not getting desire to enjoy the object we are looking. This is it is only in how we approach it. So the variety in this world is not bad or faulty, but to misuse it is condemned. So what we see is good, accepted and acceptable only if it is engaged in the Lord's service. If we can not see like this, we will never come, we will never go to Goloka Vrindavan. Only Krishna sees. We think we are men, we are both, we are. But actually the most dear to Krishna are the gopis. But it is not the external. It is because their service, their love is what is attracting the Lord. So there are no material bodies. In the transcendental world. So the next chapter is about prayers. To whose prayer does Lord Krishna listen? So Krishna is listening to when I speak like this or speak like this. Oh Krishna, I do not want from you any happiness for myself. Whatever you want from me, I will obey without fail. Even if I have to suffer in doing your will, that suffering will be my pleasure. You are the all-auspicious Lord, and as such, your arrangements can never be inauspicious. If I with such faith and feeling, the Lord will certainly accept his offerings. Without these feelings and faith, the Lord does not. And how should a devotee pray? A devotee prays, O Radha Raman, enjoyer of Radha, please protect me. May I not bring about my own ruination by ever leaving your service. Those who have ended family life should pray, O Lord, may I not become overly attached to family life. May my desire for material life be exhausted. May my attention remain always fixed on your service. Please protect me. And how should we call the Supreme Lord? The Lord's holy names. We must become lower than a straw in the street. Unless we consider ourselves insignificant, we cannot call. Only when we pray for another's help do we consider ourselves helpless. In such a state of mind we think that we not be able, or we will be unable to do anything. We will feel it impossible to do that thing alone which is meant to be done by 5 people. Sri Goswami has instructed us to chant the Lord's names. We get this information from our spiritual master, to chant the Lord's names means to take his help. But while chanting, if we consider him our servant or expect him to do our work, then there is no question of our living in the conception, I am lower than a straw in the street. So we should not pray, my Lord, you fulfill my desire. You're my servant. One should think, I am helpless, I am lower than a straw in the street. Him, if we consider him our servant, or expect him to do our work, then there is no question of our living in the conception. Conception, I am lower than a straw in the street. An external display of humility is not necessarily genuine humility, but cheating. We call him as a master, calls his servant. He is supremely independent, not under anyone's control. Unless we transform our false ego and become sincerely humble, our prayers will not reach the supreme, independent Lord. One more point. We have to remember that while humbly chanting the Lord's name, if we do not become tolerant, our chanting will remain imperfect. If we display our intolerance by being greedy for particular objects, then we are opposing the principle of humility. If we have complete faith that the Supreme Lord is the Absolute Truth, and by chanting His names, we will not experience poverty. We will have no lack of tolerance. As soon as we become greedy and try to exhibit our impatience on our own skill, we cannot call the Supreme Lord properly. So we often think we are doing the Lord a favor by offering Him prayers, that we could have engaged in some other activity than chanting the Lord's name. Such a mentality is an example of a lack of tolerance. We need someone to protect us from such a mentality. Someone to help us become lower than a straw in the street. We certainly need to take shelter of a person who will deliver us from sinful motives. Srila Narottam Das Thakur says, Lord Krishna does not reject those who worship Him under the shelter of the spiritual master. Others simply die uselessly. So what should be the object of our prayer? The object of our constant prayer should be to beg the Lord for His causeless mercy. The final goal of every living entity is to attain Krishna Prema. Love to Krishna. Is any question on this? Anything clear? It is such easy thing, but it is so difficult to to become humble is very difficult. To become real humble, only not externally. It is very hard. There's a story, Baba telling this. He went to Mahabharata. He wanted to get initiated. And he said, first you have to bring me something. What is, I said, lower. The most lowest thing you can find. Then he went around and looking. Then he finds stool on the street. He said, this is a very low thing. First the stool, yes. He found it. Then when he wanted to take it up, the stool talked to him. Don't touch me, don't give me the chance that I can leave, because I can serve my Lord. I did many mistakes to appear like this. So, and it is not bad, because you took prasad, someone took prasad, Bhagavad prasad, and now this coming out. So it is also connected with Krishna. And then you use this to let me like this and let me rot, that I become earth and I become like a Dünger, how it's called in English? Huh? Soil? Earth, become earth, yes. So that flowers for Krishna can grow nicely. Then he said, okay, this is, I am lower than him, that the stool in there. And then he saw a worm in the stool. He thought, oh, I can take this, really the lowest thing. I can take him, the worm, and offer and show Krishna. What did the worm say? He he considered him also as a servant of the Lord. Let me like this. I'm living on this, and what comes from me, this will be used in becoming earth, or becoming again usable for service for Krishna. So you should not interfere. And then he realized, and he went back to his guru and said, I did not find anything more low than myself. So then the guru said, okay, I give you Diksha. You have understood. Like this story is from one Purana. So it is humility or understanding that everything has its purpose. Whatever we see, we should not interfere. Every living form or non-living form has a purpose. But there's life everywhere. Consciousness is everywhere, even in the stone. But why they become stone or become tree or whatever, being this should not be our interest. But we should consider that the Lord is sitting or is present everywhere. With this consciousness we can become humble, and all are tolerating this. Like a Shuddha Bhakta, pure Bhakta, he sees everyone He sees no fault in this world. Because everyone gets what he has, what is destined for him, from what is arranged by the Supreme Lord. And we should not interfere in these things. Everything is perfect. Everything is perfect. The imperfectness, what we see, is only in us. We see fault. So if you always blame yourself, that I am the one who is. And this is the source of all these fights what we are facing now in this material world. This is the place where we have forgotten to see that actually the Lord is everywhere. Everything is Him. There is nothing outside of Him. You cannot take something and say, I lock it now in my house and this is mine. Everything belongs to Him. Your mind, everything is controlled by higher. Now, if we want to realize our real identity, what we are, that we are part of tiny, insignificant parts of the whole creation, whatever exists. We have forgotten our original rupa, or form, or mood, or relation to Supreme Lord. And this is only working through the sadhana. There are different kinds of sadhana. Sadhaka means is already on the transcendental plane. There's two words for sadhana. Sadhana kriya and sadhana, yes, I don't know exactly, yeah. One who practices sadhana kriya, yeah, he is already on the transcendental plane, one of them. The other one is on the Kanishta plane. Anything more to say? Everybody agrees tomorrow we are waking up and accepting everything as Krishna's mercy. Everything is in your hand, my Lord, as you want to do. Nobody can kill. Pragiki Kamarike Marik Krishna Rakiki. This is Bengali, they say. If the Lord wants to kill you, nobody can protect you. No doctor. No one. And He wants to protect you, then nobody can kill you. Nobody can harm you. It is all in His hand. And everybody gets exactly what we get, exactly what it's necessary for our advancement. So that we can continue in the next life and advance step by step, coming back. As long as we are in this material world, we are called Nitya Bodha, eternally conditioned, eternally illusioned. But eternity can change by when we are starting realizing who we really are. So we are spirit, soul, eternal servants of the Lord. then we are called, when we realize, when we are coming back to our original state, that we are called Nityasita. Means eternal sitas, liberated, eternal, free. No question. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaura Brahmanandi. Anjakalpatarupyascha Kipasindhu Paditan Bhavanepyo.